This is Africans in Diaspora Online Network. Good to be back again. This evening is going to be a time of reflection. So many things have been happening back in Nigeria, which we always see on the videos online. So painful with what we'll be saying. Just a reflection, just for the leaders. Most people now, most of the leaders, the governors and the president, just have few months before they will leave the power. Just this is a question for them. When you leave the office, what will be your legacy? What are you going to leave behind? What are we going to remember you for? What you've done, what you did, the good or the bad? Is it for good or for bad? Is it acquiring properties, or you help with the needy, or in education you make sure there was good? You did your best in education, in health sector, in infrastructure, in all around. What will be your legacy? This is a question for everyone to answer, because power come, power go. That is how it is, man. You would think you are right now, you're on top. No, power come, power go. Before you know it, it's over. 4 years is just like it's just like a child. It's just like a trickle of an eye. Before you know it, it's over. So what are you going to remember for? That is the truth. So I will say, in these few months you have left, can you make amends? Can you just do the best out of it? Up? Can you just do the best and make sure you leave at least something behind that people will remember you for? Power come, power go. That is how it is, man. I was listening to Sanusi some time ago. He said, then some years ago, people were drunk with power. They were doing what they think it was good for them. But before you know it now, in a few months' time, they'll be out of power. That is how it goes. Because it's so pathetic what is happening right now in Nigeria. I see videos, seeing different videos, two people naked in the banking hall, because, man, the life is unbearable. They have money in the bank, but they cannot withdraw it. I mean, when I saw another video, the banks were holding the mineral notes. I don't understand. You hold for it. Now you hold the mineral notes. I always say all these things we are passing through in Nigeria they are all self-made punishment, self-made uh, scarcity. It's not self-made. If we do things right, we'll get it right. But greediness will not allow people to do it. I mean, to do the right thing. Too bad. People are frustrated. You know, the video everywhere in Nigeria is like for survivor of the fittest. And the APC government, they are still campaigning. They should be apologizing for what they did, what they've done to Nigerian people. They should be apologizing. As I'm just talking, Obi was in Ogun State today. I'll be playing the video as I'm talking, so I don't. Of the Royal Highness, to campaign. Mama crowd, man. Mama crowd, man. So we really need a change. We need a change. As I was saying, all these things, they are all self-made. I pause here. Let's it to him first. Let's it to him. Let me pause here. No, I don't think. Okay, not yet. So as I was saying, all these things they're all man-made. The suffering the people are having in Nigeria, they are all man-made. And we don't. We don't deserve that. Okay, it's talking on. Let's please.
Even as a government, we must secure this country. And we must let because the country today is so divided. And that is our commitment number one. Number two is to ensure that this country is served by rule of law. There must be law and order.
There's a crowd there, you know. Obi is a man of the people. He's a movement, man. The divine movement. If I say divine, I mean divine. So nobody can stop it. We are here to change everything that is going on. We have to change everything that's going on. Because what is happening right in Nigeria is not good. It's not the best for our country. We need to change. We need to change it. Okay, people are suffering. As I was saying, a bank was. I'm sure there are very many, but just one video I saw, hoarding new notes. Why? Why? Nigeria, they hoard fuel, they hoard new notes again. They are not hoarding everything good for people to suffer. Yeah, just a moment. Let's hear him.
In Nigeria is where you don't have unemployment. Every time in Nigeria, everybody's suffering. When they had ASU strike, there's no tribe that was excluded. Everybody was included. But when they come for election, they start dividing you, and you're listening to them. It will not be based on religion. No religion buys bread cheaper. No religion was excluded during ASU strike. Or those things that affect your parents. When they owe pension and gratuity, they do not do it according to religious line. They owe everybody.
Okay. Gentlemen, we welcome our presidential candidate. We welcome the presidential candidate of Labour Party in the coming general election. His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi, you're welcome. You're welcome, sir. You're welcome. As far as I again for a ballet. Gbogbo wa pátá la máa rí wọn bá sọ̀rọ̀. Wọ́n lè máa bá gbogbo wa sọ̀rọ̀. Alright, I also welcome the new wife of our presidential candidate. You are most welcome back. All the entourage of His Excellency, you're welcome. You're welcome, all of you. You're welcome to USA. You're welcome to USA.
As I was saying, we have to do the right thing, okay? We need to do the right thing. If you don't put your PVC, take your PVC, go and get your PVC, and let's do the right thing. Let's vote. Let's vote. It's our right now. The ball is in our court. It's for us to change what's been going on, okay? Because we cannot live like this. We cannot continue to live like this. Enough is enough. Let's change all these people. Let's vote in the people that have the country at heart, okay? That is what we need to do. Because people are suffering in Nigeria, really suffering in Nigeria, so we need to change. And all the suffering that is man-made, okay? It's man-made because the banks hold a new note. The fuel is there is holding, and again, So many things are involved in all these things. So many things are involved in these things. People are having their personal selfish gain. That is why, and they have the authority, and they in that power. There is a cycle. It's a clique, and they are few in number. Okay, so we have to remove them. Some people try to sabotage the the effort of some good people. Okay, so but really, it's because the head is not really good. If the head is good, this is what will be happening. So I believe that will be. I mean, I'm not saying 100% anyway. At least we will do better than all these things, man. At least let's say 60%, 70%, because right now we're not even 1%. We are minus. We're in minus. Okay, because what is happening here is minus. It's not a plus. I will not rate Nigeria to be 10%, 5%. No, I will not rate it at all. So let's get things right. Let's do it. If you're first time of watching, I would like you to follow our page and subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on the notification in case I'm on. I said I'll be on till the time of elections. Okay, we have just 21 days to go to the election. That means the campaigning will have about 20 days to go. So for me, I'm going to be online. I said every day do my campaign for Peter Obi. I make it clear for Peter Obi. I'm not saying vote wisely. The wisely you will vote is Peter Obi. Okay? People say vote wisely. I know, yeah. It's a slogan. Maybe they don't want to define a particular candidate because of, for some reasons. But I'm saying, guys, you don't need to hide it. I always say to all these influencers, come on, use your platform to do the right thing. It's not just money, money, money. Use your platform to do the right thing. Use your platform to say what is right. Use your platform to do this campaign. Because millions of people are following you. At least in that million, at least 10,000 of followers will hear you. You understand? That is most important. Okay, do your part. Tell them to have their privacy. Tell them to vote wisely. Don't vote wisely. Tell them to vote Peter Obi. All right. So if you don't believe me, if you don't buy my opinion, it's okay. Everybody has his own opinion. It's a free world. Okay. You have to express yourself. But what I'm trying to say, let's be bold. Okay. Let's be bold. Forget all the endorsement and the rest, people, companies, and you think all the questions are giving you. Forget it for now. We have just 20 days to go to change the situation. Use your platform. I say to people, those in diaspora, anywhere you may be, use your platform to campaign. Use your platform to say one or two things. Don't just use it to just browse. No, use it now. That's the time to use it. 3 minutes, 4 minutes, with your phone, hold it like this. Oh, vote for Peter Obi. This is why you think so. This is how you want to make the campaign. This is how the 7 people tweeting in the room will overcome all these people, these politicians that are there, that have been there, and they don't want to do anything. They use it as if that is their heritage. Let's do this, man. Take your phone, be on air, be bold about it. It's your country. Let's savage it together. That's what I'm telling you guys. Let's wake up. Let's do the right thing. Don't say you are not in Nigeria. No, it's affecting everybody, man. It's really affecting, man. It's pathetic. What I watch in the video is frustration. They are destroyed. I saw some different videos destroying the gates of banks and people in the banking hall, going naked. Not just one, not two. Come on. That means something is really happening. People are frustrated. They are frustrated. They have the money, but they cannot withdraw the cash. This is bad. This is bad. Let's change the system, man. Let's change it. I would say, if the top is good, at least the people below will be. They will do better. They will be careful. They will be careful. Why is that it is? Everybody just come. Well, let's help the country out, man. I'm doing my own now. Let's help the country out. Let's help the country out. We need to do it. We really need to do it. We need to do it. Let's help the country out. Um, I will play a video of Peter Obi. Peter Obi. No, I'm campaigning. Anything I'm doing right now, as I said, I mean, online, I will spend some time. One person will hear me. As you are watching, please share the video. Share the video. Let another person see it. It's important. When you don't share it, you keep for yourself. It's not good. When you share it, people will see it. And information. If I say the power of information is good. Thank God, those days the government we use their power because they control their stations, the TV stations of those days, and the radios of those days. They control. But now, because of these platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, information now. So we are free to air our view because those days they gave us their own view, just their own view. That is all, and we take it. Just our own view, whether correct or not correct, we take it. But now we have the platform to hear other views. That is why this is good. Social network is good. So use this platform. Use your platform to showcase what you believe in, to showcase what is good, to showcase the importance of this election, to showcase enough is enough, we need a change. Yeah, we need a change. So they cannot control the information again. We are in charge now. We are in charge because billion- billion- billions of people right now, they are on internet. They are on the loose. So any information that gets to them, they take it. All right. So like I said, share the information. People can be helped, with it. It's important. It's so important. Important. That is what I just want to pass across. Okay. The video I want to play. Is this still processing? Let me see. Like it's still processing. It's still processing. Oh, okay. All right. At least before I cut the day, it will play, but I think it's a long video. That's why it's still processing. So that is how it is. So different news. So many things are happening. Erufai was saying that Peter Obi is a Nollywood actor. Call him a Nollywood actor, good. But come February 25th, you will see the acting. You see the reality of the acting. So they can say anything they want to say. Don't let them discourage you. They will say they, they have the power just only on Twitter. Okay, but that is what I'm trying to say. All these influencers, now is the time to push. Now is the time, During the PVC registration, you guys did a lot, did very well. You push, and it was really good. So now we all need to push also. Now we need to push for them to go out to vote. It's good for you guys to push right now for them to go out to vote. Really, it's good for you guys to push right now for them to go out to vote. It's important, that they go out. And, Obi was in Ebonyi State. I said I would play the video, but I couldn't play it anyway. I couldn't play it. I couldn't play it. I didn't see the video rather. I thought I had the video. But all the same, this is my campaign. No, I'm doing my rally. I'm doing my rally right now. This is how I think we all can do it. to make it work. To make it work. Obi is a person that can change the narrative. Let me just play this thing. Let me play it.
Election coming up in 2023. Peter Obi is not asking you today for vote for Peter Obi. I'm asking you to sit down and scrutinize all those that are offering themselves for election. Put all of us on a scale. Let's know who we are. Let's ask questions who we are. Let's verify who we are. Because Peter Obi is from the East, I will vote for him. Do not vote for me because I'm an Igbo man. Do not vote for anybody because they're from the West. Do not vote for anybody because they're from the North. This is time to vote a human being who have conscience and trust.
These are the campaigns I love. I love such campaigns. It says scrutinize. Check all the candidates. Sleep over it and choose the best. You don't vote for it because I'm an Igbo man. You know, don't vote for him because he's your relation. No, he's a relative. No. Vote because he's competent. He can deliver. You know, that he has what it takes to make it happen. This is who we really need. This is who we really need. Guys, I don't know what to say. What I'm saying, choose rightly. Vote Peter Obi. Okay? The video I want to play, let me play it now after this video. It's a long video. Just watch it, then when I come back, I'm doing my part, guys. All right, let's watch.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. Recently, a federal high court in Lagos ordered the federal government of Nigeria to recover pensions collected by former as ministers and members of the National Assembly. The court also directed the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, to challenge the illegality of states' pension laws, permitting former governors and other former public officials to collect such pensions. The judgment came on the heels of the invalidated pension law for former governors and other ex-public officers in Zamfara State, which provided for the upkeep of former governors and former public officials to the tune of 700 million naira annually. Joining us now to discuss this and other national issues is former governor of Anambra State, Mr. Peter Obi. Your Excellency, good morning.
Good morning,
Good
sir.
morning.
Good to have you on the program. When the pension law controversy erupted, I said, oh, now I know the secret of your, looking so comfortable and nice. You've been collecting pension and benefits and allowances out of office. But what's your reaction? How does this work out? Do you support the move in Zamfara State to repeal the law and, the outrage on the part of Nigerians that when you leave office as governor, you should just go back to your former work and stop collecting public funds? What's your take?
Well, Ruben, let me
Let me do like this. I play like this.
that we're just about to, we just discovered a very nice land. This is about 2,000 something square meters. And I think we need to, our land allocation, this is the first land we want to give and want to give
I
it
fast forward it a little bit.
To the governor.
to give it to me, the governor. And I turned to this woman, I said, what is your gratuity? And that you're living to me. Said about 3 million. How long have you worked for government? Said, exactly 35 years. I said, what is your pension? Said about 45,000, 50,000 a month. And I said, have you been given, what is the gifts? What have they given you and everything and all that? And he said to me, nothing. I have very innocently, nothing, no. I said, so you haven't been given any land, you haven't given anything like that. He said, land? And I said, Commissioner, this is a woman that needs land. I've just been in this job less than 1 year. This person has been here 35 years. Mrs. E. Ford and Mrs. Vicky Ford, I don't forget her name. I said, this woman, she's been here for 35 years. And I'm here less than 1 year. So please, since you said it's mine, give it to this woman.
Amazing.
I said, this woman, madam, they said you are very good. You won't go. You become a special assistant in my office. And you'll be here till I go. And your job is to continue to be as good as you are. Because she was just looking young and everything. I said, you're very young, you're looking young, you're this. He said, but I've served for 35 years. I have to go. So I said, give this woman this land. Forget about me. So, Ruben, you have somebody who has worked for 35 years, going home on 50,000 a month. And somebody, I don't want to say came from nowhere, like me, put in 4 years, and it's taking 500 million a year. So this woman in 1 year will earn 600,000, and I will earn 500 million. It's not even taking 1% of that. That is my own worry. So it's not how much you pay a retired university professor a month. Maybe about 200, 300,000. How much you pay this for you to be a professor in a university? You must have spent 15 years, 20 years to become. So you can go on and on. How much you pay other people who have worked so hard?
So what would you say your stance then is when it comes to the pension laws? Are you for or against? How do you feel state governments should go about it? Do you think the Zamfara example is a model that other states should follow? Do you think ex-governors should be paying their pensions back?
Completely. If you finish, you just go home.
Yeah, but the principle of it, because I think in one state, is it Delta State, they even just reviewed, in the midst of all this controversy, they just reviewed the existing pension law to accommodate, one former acting governor who was not covered by the law.
No,
so
I said it before.
They don't want a situation whereby a man leaves office, the people who are promoting this, they don't want a big man who has been governor or deputy governor or speaker to leave, and then 6 months, 1 year after leaving office, he's living like a pauper. So they keep him on salary because these are their excellencies.
Ruben, let me even tell you, even the pension now questions, what are they paying themselves when they're in office? If they can pay themselves this when they have left. Ruben, nobody can tell you. You were doing something before you came to be a governor. As simple as ABC. Before I came to become governor, before I became governor of Anambra State, I was doing something. I'm not saying that there should not be in any way a bit, if you say it, caring to a next person, but with the level it is now, it should be scrapped completely. And that's where I stand. When you finish, you've served faithfully for 8 years. Go back to what you were doing before you came.
But should the governors who have collected these benefits, allowances, pension and all that, should they pay back? Because they are insisting that they were given the money under existing law.
Refunding money is not easy. You know that yourself. Refunding money is not easy. And everything.
Very truthful,
even somebody who picked money that was left in garbage in America, when they went to collect it, he said when he collected the money, he changed a bit of his lifestyle. And they have to know what they have to do to compensate him a little bit to continue to live on the lifestyle, the money. Refund is difficult because that money has been used. But I say, for me, the reason why I started with what the story I told you is that we need to look at the overall. What is everybody getting? And this is not just in government. It's happening even in corporate world, where I think CEOs that left are earning huge money, while those who were busy working 24 hours in the company, cleaning and doing everything, go home nothing. In fact, what they do now is they are contract staff. So when they go, they are left with nothing. But the CEO who have worked in the same place is being paid like 10, 20 million, something governors are demanding. But you have people, and that is why in this country, I mean, it's been an editorial of this day, where you have, when we talk about the gap, inequality, Nigerian inequality is the worst. 157 over 157. Because you now have a situation where 1% of the richest Nigerians are controlling almost 80% of the entire resources of the country.
Yes.
And this is the problem. When somebody takes 400, 700 million a year, let me tell you, the entire, when I was in office, the entire monthly pension of civil servants in Anambra State is about 180 million or thereabout. 150 to 180 million. Use an average of about 150 or 180 million is about 2 billion. And you're paying one person almost a third of that. So if you have 3 of them, they earn same amount that the entire service. Thank you.
If somebody, I mean, you have not asked for the money, you made that clear, you've not collected anything since you left office. But under the existing law, the pensions law is your entitlement. If somebody were to come to you and say, well, Your Excellency, you don't need this money, and you've earned it because it's under the law, just give me a letter of authorization, let me collect it on your behalf.
I won't give the person. Being governor is not the first place I left. It's not the first place I served. I've served in other institutions. I've served in any other place where they were showing A, B, C, D, F. I served in banks, about 2 banks, yes, directors. They were buying directors, cars and everything. Go ask any of them whether they bought cars for me.
Okay, so
I just believe that you have to pass through a place, serve to the best of your ability, and move on with your life.
we do have to go on a very quick commercial break in just a moment, and we'll come back. But when we do, I want to bring us up on Nigeria's current.
This guy is good. As you watch the video, share the video, okay? Let's make it count. Follow us on our page, our YouTube channel, subscribe, turn on notification. If your first time of watching, it's important, okay? And I'll continue with the video. I'll continue with the video right now. Let's watch it.
Turn on investment. The more you invest in education, the more developed, the more better your economy. We need to invest in health and everything. Our debt has moved from about 10 trillion to 25.7 trillion. And now with their new approval, we are hitting 30-something trillion. Our debt servicing have moved from about 1 trillion to now next year about 3 trillion, because 2.7, about 3 trillion.
About 24% of the budget.
The question to ask yourself is not the number of budgets. The most important place you need to invest money is in education and health. Everybody knows it's the measure of development is HDI, which revolves around this. You are low in terms of life expectancy. When the average is 75, you're 53. In terms of education, when every other country we are competing with is at 90-something, we are 51. We're one of the lowest. And you're not investing in these 2 areas. Just to tell you how bad it is, our debt servicing today is about 2.8 trillion. Between 2016, let me include 2019 and 2020, our budget for education 2020 is 684 billion. If we include it, the budget of these 5 years in education is 2,893 billion. That means what you used to service debt in 1 year is about what you spend in education, the most important investment in 5 years. In fact, in health, our health expenditure in that 5 years is 1.9 trillion. So it's even higher. Even if you look at next year's budget, just next year's budget, we provided 2.8 trillion for debt servicing. And I bet you it's going to be more. The same next year, 2020, this celebrated budget, our budget for education is 684 billion. Our budget for health is 441 billion. Both of them put together is not even up to 50% of your debt servicing. You have a crisis. So you cannot continue to borrow. It is wrong. And this debt is not impacting. We're the only country, I've said it, that is borrowing, and it's not impacting in our growth. It's clearly. Because in 2015, your GDP was 520 billion. Your per capita was 2,550. At that time, you were owing about 10 trillion. Now you've moved to where you are now owing 25 point something trillion. So you added 150% to your debt, and your GDP is 390. Your per capita is 1,920. So you have a crisis.
Let's look at the other side of it. The Debt Management Office says that the federal government has in place a debt management strategy that is sustainable, and that this loan that the federal government wants to take is a low interest, concessionary, long-term loan, which Nigeria can manage. The Minister of Finance says our GDP, debt to GDP ratio is still manageable, it's small. The Senate President says with the Production Sharing Contracts Amendment Bill having been passed to law, and the Finance Bill 2019 having been passed into law, government is not going to have any crisis, funding the 2020 budget. So it looks like on the government side, there has been an attempt to provide for the, crisis that other people are talking about. So do you think they've taken enough steps to prevent any kind of crisis, even if the president himself admits that it's a deficit budget that we're going to run?
Ruben, I'm a trader. I'm not a trained economist. Trained economists can tell you about debt to GDP, debt to this. I'm talking about debt to your revenue. That is the crisis.
Yeah, but production sharing, contracts,
let me tell you
finance
production
bill,
sharing can only bring additional 1 billion or thereabout.
What of the Finance Act?
You're just changing and saying, oh, people should pay more VAT, people should pay more this and everything. It is the same people, the same 8 million people that are already impoverished that you're going to take this VAT from. You're not going to create it for. It's me and you. When they say the VAT has increased, Ruben, is you that is going to pay more for the goods. The VAT is not going to, God is not going to add additional money to Nigeria. It is you that is going to pay that bill. So when they say these things as if, oh, if they pass a law, then somebody is going to bring it from nowhere. It is the same impoverished Nigerians. It's like so when they tell you, say, oh, our tax revenue to GDP is low. It's low because it's very simple. The only thing that makes tax revenue to increase is that the economy is productive. People are employed. The more job you can create, the more revenue you can get. If SMEs are working, they can generate money. But you cannot tax people who are impoverished, people who are in my village doing nothing. You cannot tax them. So if you pass any law, it doesn't make any difference. You're not going to create new money. It's the same people that are going to pay this VAT. It's the same people that are going to do this. And the more you're doing this, you're increasing the cost of goods. And without disposable income, people will buy less. It's simple. Go to market now. I said, I'm a trader in the market now. Nobody's coming even this Christmas. Nobody's buying anything. People will come and buy. Those who used to, last year, 3 years ago, people used to come and buy 8,000, he buys a bag of rice. Today that is 20, the person come 3 of them because their income have diminished. They buy 3 and share. So they're not going to change. You're not creating new people. The only way to get new funding is that these people, you pull these people out of poverty. So when people talk about GDP, debt to GDP, it is wrong. Ruben, I give you an example of, I always use, say, Japan. Japan debt to GDP is over 200%. But don't forget, even with that, Ruben, Japan per capita is about $50,000. Your own is 2,000. But they're owing all this money. So what is happening? Japan today owns the highest amount of US Treasury bills. Now, most of Japan's debts are internal. It is what government needed to reset the economy. So don't talk about debt to GDP. It is what is, I'm saying about borrowing. Let me use a country just to conclude on this debt, to give you an example. Vietnam in 2010 embarked on aggressive drive for the economy. And they started borrowing too. The consequence is that in 2010, their GDP was $116 billion. Their per capita was 1,310, thereabout. They kept borrowing. By 2015, Ruben, Vietnam was at 192 billion GDP. Their per capita moved to 2050. Today, they are 241 billion. Their per capita is down to 255. Which is what happened.
Go on a quick commercial break.
They have done better. So we are borrowing. Our growth is heading south and everything.
So, sorry, we do have to take a very quick commercial break. We'll come back and continue with this discussion. Do stay with us.
Yes, we're watching Peter Obi, so let's continue watching him. I'm saying pick up PVC, let's vote for the right person. Peter Obi is the right person.
Of the People's Democratic Party in the 2019 general elections in Nigeria, Mr. Peter Obi. Now, I get the impression that your objection to the plan by the federal government to borrow about $30 billion productivity or to add value. But the federal government has made it clear that this money will be used for infrastructure. Are you saying that infrastructure is not important, or you are doubting the fact that the government will deliver on its promise? Because the 8th National Assembly rejected the same proposal on the grounds that they were not sure what government wanted to do. Or this is just an objection to borrowing?
We've been told that all the past borrowing were strictly for capital project. Am I right? So, Ruben, is a very simple thing. Show us the one that we've already borrowed and financed. That's how it starts. This is not rocket science. You said you're going to borrow. Ruben, it's a very simple thing you can even do in your house. Your wife comes and says, listen, if you give me money, I'm going to cook this type of dish.
Wives don't offer borrowing plans.
No. So
the plan can change.
No. He comes back and you're starving. And he says, where's the money? I gave you this money. He said, well, if you give me new one, I'm going to strictly use it for this. Let us remain consistent. We're dealing with issues that are very important. We're dealing with the future of our children. It is important. We have borrowed so much in the past. What did we use it for? It's very easy to audit what it was used for. And then this one we're going to borrow, can we show in empirically verifiable, this is what we're going to use it for? And who are those who are technically savvy that are borrowing this money and applying it judiciously. Women have been in government where people just come from nowhere, tell you, you must borrow for this, borrow for that. I say, listen, why are we going to borrow money? We don't need to borrow money. We have areas we can cut, and we don't need to borrow. And I said to anybody, I was in government for 8 years. We never asked anybody for a loan for one day. Not because we had, but because we could look, whenever there's need to borrow, we first look inward and said, if we cut this and cut this and cut this and cut this, we don't need to borrow this money. And I believe there's areas where you can still do that and areas where investing. Is it that we are borrowing money and throwing in education? So we can see that schools have improved and changed and everything. Is it that we're borrowing money and put it in health so that hospitals and everything and all that have improved? Is it that we're borrowing money and putting it on the so-called infrastructure? Where are the bridges, where are the roads, where are these that are completed that we can say we borrow this? Ruben, let me give you an example. We've just done from 10 trillion to 25 trillion. So added 15. Nationally, whether I like it or not. Just Ibadan, Lagos-Ibadan Express Road, which they've been building since, God knows, since I was in university. All they need is 200 billion.
Okay, so let me ask
So from this borrowing, just 200 billion thrown into that thing, since then, it would have completed it.
Would you then say that, for example, if we're looking at ways to cut down on certain budgets that shouldn't exist, would you comment or would you like to comment on the $100 million that's been budgeted for the renovation of the National Assembly? In the
37 billion.
37 billion naira is $100 million. $100 million budgeted for the renovation of the National Assembly.
Well, let me tell you, there's so many places to cut. It's not just that. I tell you, I've served, so I have an idea. And the waste is unacceptable. The cost of governance in Nigeria cannot be compared to anywhere. I've talked about governors, I've talked about presidents, I've talked about local government chairmen and everything. I've said it in this, that it is unacceptable because it will probably cost more to keep me as the governor than it will cost to keep Boris Johnson as Prime Minister of Britain. And I can tell you, because if anybody in the UK sees Boris Johnson moving with 5 vehicles, he won't be in office the next day. I can tell you.
Walk down the road with his dog.
No. I said he will not be in the office the next day with that level of convoy. Talk less of this thing. If you eat in White House,
you pay.
Or in 10 Downing Street, if you invite somebody, a guest,
you pay.
To come for dinner, at the end of the month, they'll give you the bill.
Anyway.
In Anambra State, I can bring my entire village. They'll be eating. Nobody cares.
Yes, it's their share of the national cake. But, I mean, all morning you've been referring to education. You know, although I was going to draw your attention to the fact that in the budget proposal for 2020, education is actually number 3 on the list. After defense, and then power, works and housing, and then you have education. But I know you are very passionate about education, given your record in Anambra State. And only a week ago, you met with the Pope to work with, a foundation set up by the Vatican to promote education.
Not tried by the Vatican.
Okay, but what are the details? You want to share that with us?
It is the Pope personal foundation.
Oh, it's the Pope himself.
Personal foundation, which is started...
Occurrentis Foundation? Scholar Occurrentis.
This is what it started as when he was Cardinal and Bishop of Buenos Aires in Argentina. From empirical studies, he found out that to develop and have peace, you need to invest in education and sports. That is not far-fetched. It's only when we engage in sports here that we stay as a nation. So they found that out. And that's what they've used in South America to keep South America, whether it's Brazil, whether it's this and all that, this sports, and they invest in education. Ruben, the reason why we're having multiplicity of problems we're having today is that we did not invest in education yesterday. That is why South Korea, China, everybody, that we are lagging behind Nigeria. But took us economically and are doing better because they've invested in education. We're in a knowledge economy. It's a very simple thing. The more knowledge you can create in terms of revenue and everything, it's very simple. I've said it wherever it is possible. But it is no longer a baggage economy time when you're dependent on oil. Ruben, in 2018, we earned from oil $18 billion. That's what we earned in oil in 2018. This year, maybe we earn about 20. Facebook, that just started a few days ago. Facebook, third quarter revenue, just third quarter. So, which is not, listen, it's more than that. What they had in 3 months, revenue in 3 months. In December 2018, their revenue was $55 billion. So the all Nigeria shared and got from oil is not up to a third of what Facebook made.
But
so all those things, you need to invest in education.
No,
it is critical.
Principle of it is clear.
The return is huge. So what the Pope is doing is using this to advance this, and I had been invited by the management to see how they can use this, again, support education, or help to raise money internally, support education here, support sports, so they start pulling away young people from the direction they're going to where they should go.
What's the nature of your connection with the foundation? Is it that
they just
the
invited
Scholars
me. They just invited
Foundation
me. What they have done is
will
invited
set up
me
in Nigeria?
Yes, they just invited me to see what they're doing, study it, and see how they can work, how I can mobilize people here. Because they don't work, they're not going to bring anybody from outside. They need some Nigerians who will come together and see what they're doing and be able to do the same thing, which will raise money and some other supports they can give us to be able to do it.
Is it a Christian, Catholic thing,
No,
or it's an open thing for
it's
everybody?
an open thing. Youth is youth. Let me tell you, at the end of the day, it's this place that, you see, we've brought ourselves into so many problems in this country. Starting this Christian thing, starting this. We usually give, Ruben, we always give an example with Dubai. I don't use Dubai as my example because it's a small country with a low population. But let me tell you, Ruben, I'm a Catholic. Whenever I'm in Dubai, I go to the Catholic church and worship. The Catholic church in Dubai is built by the Emir of Dubai, who is a Muslim. It's there, it's written. And he comes there once a year or twice a year when they do their Jarat thing. Ruben, I went to the best school, the best Catholic school in Njabode. I was there. They had the best result in WAEC. So I went to visit them.
Which school is this?
Christ the King College. I went to visit them. Shocking, their land was given to them by the Muslim man that was there. We've destroyed this country with all this religion and all this and all everything. We shouldn't. We are Nigerians. And that is what brings us together. You do your own worship. We're multi-religious society.
Will this foundation be open in 2020, or when is it looking to come into Nigeria?
Well, it depends on, I have to study, I have to know the value, what they're going to come, engage them, we have to talk and all that and all that. They don't want to come in here and become, it's not, when you talk about People have looked at it and people say, oh, maybe they think they're coming to share money. They're not coming to share money. They're not coming to do this. They want you to even raise internally. You see, if you look at what all development agencies are doing now, whether it's the Gay Foundation and anything, they want you to bring in, just like when we did NDG, they want you to contribute 50% or some percentage of what they contribute, because they want you to show that you are interested. So we are not at the exploring stage where I need to study, do this, and look at maybe people like you who mean well and say, come, let all of us come together and do this. How do we set up to see that the young ones engage in sports and all this, that this can help them? They don't need to go into crime in order to succeed. They don't need to do kidnapping. I mean, a good footballer earns more money than all the kidnappers put together.
Very true.
You know? So if they're engaged in sports, there's so many people who are doing sports all over the world and are earning good money and they're happy with what they're doing than doing this. Jamaica have proved it. Brazil have proved it. Look at their income and their foreign exchange and everything. India have even cricket and everything. So there's a lot of sports that can be developed.
We need to wrap this up within 30 seconds. But before we go, the Governors Forum, the governors met yesterday. And one of the outcomes reported in the papers is that the governors are saying they know nothing about the $29.96 billion that the federal government wants to borrow. And that it's just the federal government and that they are not involved.
I leave it now. I purposely played this video, for you to see the pacing of Peter Obi and the whole is what is done before in the past. This is just a general view, the election is just 21 days to go. So that's why I play this video. Guys, choose wisely. And if choose wisely is Peter Obi. Choose Peter Obi. Let's vote for him. Enough of all this nonsense that's going on in Nigeria. Enough of all this suffering. No one needs to suffer to have a living. Nobody needs to suffer to have a living. No one needs to suffer to have a good life. To have good school. Or to have a job or something. Must you suffer? No. So that is why I'm saying I'll be doing this the election time, playing my part, which I'm doing. I believe one or two people will hear this, what I'm saying. But for more people to hear, it's good to share the video out, share it to your friends, and let's make it count. And again, to follow us on our Facebook page, our Twitter, our Instagram, our YouTube channel. Subscribe to it and hit the notification button in case tomorrow I'm back. You will be notified. Okay, it's important. All right, guys. I love Nigeria. I love you guys. So let's make it work. It will be for president come February 25th. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Good night. God bless you.